This is a presentation on a new way to simplify radicals, a way that involves a fun little story. I'm going to teach you the story, and by learning the story, you'll learn how to reduce basically any radical expression that involves exponents. So, here we go. It's kind of a fun little story, as you'll see. Suppose that we need to simplify an expression like the square root of 27. Okay. First thing you want to do in this situation, just like in the previous video I made on reducing radicals, first thing you want to do is express 27 in terms of its prime factors. So if you think about 27 and its prime factors, you can see that it splits up into 3 times 9. 3 is a prime, so we circle it. 9 splits up into 3 times 3. We circle both of those because they're prime. So we find out that we've got our 3 prime factors now, 3, 3, and 3. 27 turns out to be 3 cubed. Okay? So we go over here and we just rewrite our radical as 3 to the third power. Now, I'm going to explain basically how this story that I'm going to teach you applies to radicals and what the story is. The story is essentially the idea of breaking out of a prison. Imagine the game Capture the Flag. Some of you, I'm sure, have played that. You know, in Capture the Flag, there's a little jail that you can get put into if you get caught by the opposing team. So we're going to say that this radical symbol here represents the Capture the Flag jail. And what we're going to do is we're going to let little symbols stand for people. And we're going to say that there are 3 people. Imagine there are 3 people in this little prison. You can see here why I went into math, not art. Okay, 3 people in the prison here. And there is a special way that you can escape from this prison. The way you escape is that if there are 2 people in the prison, at least 2, then one can climb on the other person's shoulder, and they get out through like a little window. There's an imaginary window right here in the prison. And so the first person is here, put their head down, and the second person climbs on that first person's shoulders and gets up to the upper level. Okay, now there's a third person in this prison, and that person does not take part in the jailbreak, so that person just stays over here. Now what happens is that that top person basically gets out of the jail, escapes. Okay, and then in the next scene what happens is that the captors find out that one person escaped, so they just recognize that one got out, and that there's one still in. So we'll put that one over here. This is the one that did not participate in the jailbreak. The one that did participate, we say that gets kicked out of the game. There's a special form of Capture the Flag where if you participate and you're on the bottom level, you have to sacrifice yourself and you're out of the game. So this one is basically out of the game. Okay, put a little X to show he's out of it. So this is the result. This is what's left after the captors discover what happened. There's one that escaped and there's one that's still in. This one is the top one that escaped. This one is the one that didn't participate. Now, basically, we just use that same idea when we're reducing radicals, and this is what I mean. What we found out is that root 27 is the same as the square root of 3 cubed. Well, that means that there are 3 3's under the radical. We could view it like this first. 3 times 3 times 3. And what happens is that these 3, they want to have as many escapes as they can so that they can win the game. So one climbs on top of the other one's shoulders. One isn't involved. The one that climbs on top escapes. The one that helped him escape sacrifices himself, so he gets kicked out of the game. And the third one just stays. Okay, I'm going to put a little square around that one to show that the one that stays, which is sort of stable, so we put a square around it because a square is a symbol of stability. So at the end of this process, what we have is that one of the 3's escaped, so it's on the outside of the prison now. That one is gone, he's history, and this one that's still there is still there. And what we've actually done is we've simplified the radical, root 27, into its simpler form, which is right here. The simpler form is 3 root 3. Okay? What I'll do in the next video clip is I'll show how you can use that same idea to simplify radicals that are even more complex than root 27. But that should get you off to a good start with the process.